All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that intro, Leanne. Good to be back. Amazing platform, and I'm pretty excited about this morning. It's a huge topic, and for me, it's been an all-important topic over the past couple of years. But this kind of topic is going to stay with us: the modern workplace for small business. Work securely from anywhere at any time. Get closer to your customers. Optimize working in this new hybrid environment. And, we all need to know more. We all need to find better solutions, more insights, and, of course, how to use this amazing technology and what it can do for us in the future. But please, to everyone out there, let us know where you're from. As we know, this is live streamed on, of course, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and, of course, these replays will go on for months and months. So please, in the chat, let us know what your expectations are. Let us know what you're looking for. And of course, if you need any questions answered, please put them onto the chat, because our team and our panel will be able to answer them. And let me give you a quick intro this morning. Of course, Colin Erasmus, the Director of Modern Workplace and Security, Microsoft South Africa. Iain Emerson, the CEO of Network Configuration. And of course, Andrew Church, the Managing Director of Rodel Financial Services. And of course, Jacques Morkel, the Operations Director of Rodel Financial Services. A big welcome to you guys. Thank you for taking your time out. I know everyone's busy, but of course, put your time into helping SMEs out there to become better off in the world of technology, of course, in the new way we are working in this hybrid environment. So a big welcome.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Looking forward to it.
Great, yeah. And guys, also please in the chat to our attendees out there, remember we do know it's because of you we can do what we do. So I can see the familiar faces coming on, or the familiar names coming back on. Debocho, welcome back, and of course Joa, welcome to you. Alvin, good to see you. And also tell us where you're from. It's always been interesting, when we to the panel when we launched this for the first time going back. I people from New York, from Singapore, from Tokyo. So we don't always just have the African audience here. We also have had an audience from all over the world, which has been amazing. And so Robin, good morning to you. Lisa Rice, good morning to you. And please, again, if you've got any questions, please pop them onto the chat. And as we know, technology, we've got some technology experts here this morning, but as we know, sometimes things can go wrong. We know the words load shedding, and these sometimes can affect us all, you, me, and of course the panel. So, but there's one thing for sure: if something does go wrong, we will be back. And but I'm pretty confident that this morning we're in for a good session without any interruption. So, as we know, from Durban, hi from Durbs, good to see you, Craig, there from Joburg, Bryanston, and importantly, as we know. Just something for the panel here, which has been interesting, especially during the first few months of the pandemic. We did a lot of surveys around what people out there wanted us to do in the format that what they wanted us to do it in. And what came out very prominent is an engaging, interactive Q&A session, as opposed to flat presentations on a PowerPoint. So this kind of format has been well received. And of course, morning, Paul West. Yeah, thank you for joining us from Edenvale. Of course, a very prominent, ongoing, and a common engaging with us. Paul, thank you for coming back to us. So let me kick it off, if you don't mind me. And Colin, whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, I'm starting with you, Colin. And before you take that flight later today, let me ask you an important question here. What is Microsoft's vision for small business and how they use technology?
Mike, thank you so much, and welcome to everybody. It's great to see people joining from all over the country and even internationally, as you pointed out. I think, Mike, the answer is rooted in our vision as a company overall. We talk about empowering every person on the planet to achieve more, and no more with small business. If we look at small business in South Africa, if we look at small businesses globally, this really is the economic engine of many countries, right? And for South Africa as well. So I think that in that vision lies what we are trying to achieve with small businesses. How do we provide technology And it's not just technology, right? So it's gone so much deeper than technology and productivity today. But how do we provide that to small businesses for them to achieve more, for them to do business in these new times? We talk about having moved from remote now to hybrid. Is this the new normal? If it is the new normal, we need to be able to work and thrive in this new normal. And that's really what we're trying to achieve with the technologies that we're setting forth and that we're giving to small businesses.
Colin, thank you. Like you say, small business is the mainstay of our economy. It's the engine of our society. And, not long ago, I was invited by the European Union to bring some insight into that. And we both know that, more than 2/3 of our working population work in a small business. And by 2030, more than 90% of the working population will work in a small business. And in fact, in the European Union, it's 92%. And just for interest sake, in Switzerland, 98% of the working population work in a small business. And I think this is why Microsoft, I'm very grateful to Microsoft for, of course, sponsoring this session this morning. And they recognize, in my discussions with Microsoft over many years, is that they recognize the importance of small business. And if you look at small business, stay in business and building a bigger business for the purpose of employing others is our prime objective as a nation. And technology is playing a major role in helping SMEs stay there and to grow their businesses effectively for the purpose of employing others quicker than normal. So thank you for that. Now, Colin, Microsoft 365. What is Microsoft 365?
It's a very, very good question, right? Because we go back a couple of years and we all spoke about O365, and then we changed this thing, we made it M365. So maybe, and I do want to just frame what you said and just go into that a little bit deeper, because if you look at us as an enterprise organization, we created some really great technologies for our big banks and our big telcos and things like that. And I think then we thought to ourselves, if you look at a small business, our small businesses need that enterprise type technology as well. We needed to make sure that they could get their hands on this thing and make sure that they were productive. So M365 really is a suite of tools at the end of the day. It's a subscription suite of tools. And it's not just productivity. And as I said previously, this is where it started for us. I think we were known as the productivity company in many ways. And we wanted to do so much more. So really, if you look at M365 as a suite of tools, the one thing it does do is it empowers employees to work from anywhere, right? So that's a really important point today. So all the technologies that you're used to, Teams as an example, empowering small business to be connected with the employees. The other major thing that it does do now is improve your cybersecurity posture. Now, unfortunately, in the world that we live in today, especially in this new hybrid world, we no longer have, and Iain will tell us a lot about this, we no longer have the real networks that we used to. We used to have our firewalls and our DMZ zones and whatever, and this was mine and you couldn't come in. That's gone, right? Because our network's everywhere now. So what is in that suite of tools around M365 is a lot of cybersecurity technologies to protect you. And I think that is so important. And the other thing we have looked at is how do we help small businesses reduce costs? And that is everything from potentially getting everything that you need from a single place, all the way to how do we automate? So a really good example of this is under hybrid. Now, I know I work in an enterprise. I mean, Microsoft's not a small business, but I have colleagues that I've never met. So you think about this. So you think about how does IT get a new PC to somebody, and instead of having come past the IT desk to be set up, there's technologies like Autopilot that exist within M365 as an example, where I can directly send a PC to an individual, they connect to the internet, and it's all automated. The applications come down to them. So that really is a very long answer for what Microsoft 365 is. It really is a suite of tools that actually helps you be more secure, save costs, and allow employees to work from anywhere.
Yeah, and Colin, it's like you just said, Microsoft's not a small business, but as we all know, it started off as a very small business, and I think that's why the passion behind Microsoft is geared towards the growth of small business in South Africa and around the world. But Andrew, of course, Andrew Church, the Managing Director of Rodel Financial Services. Again, a big welcome, Andrew. And it's been great talking to you this morning offline. I just hope that they get your house built quickly and cost effectively. So all the best on that. So, Andrew, what does Rodel do, and how has Microsoft 365 allowed your business to succeed?
Thanks, Mike, and good morning to everyone out there. Nice to be on this platform. It's the first time for me. We're a niche financial services provider. I think we actually fit your description of an SME quite well. We've got about 40 people, and all of those people are fairly crucial to our business. So we first got involved with NetConfig, our IT service provider, well before COVID, for reasons that we needed to get hold of people who were crucial to the business at any time, at any place. So we couldn't have our staff going off and getting married and getting sick and going on holiday without any contact with us whatsoever. So we're a money lending business in the property world. We also provide security bonds and curatorships, trustees, deceased estates. And then we look after disabled people. We also lend money in that sector, that disability sector. So we run trusts, we look after their interests, we look after their money. We have to liaise with doctors and nurses and occupational therapists and medical staff all over the country. So, and we, as I said earlier, we deal with large amounts of money. So we need a highly flexible and very secure system to operate off. And so NetConfig and Microsoft 360 have been fantastic for us. We had it in place generally before Microsoft and before lockdown. And before lockdown, I had never even had a Teams before. We now do that daily, and I'm able to talk to all my staff. I use this platform nonstop, the Teams platform. So yes, in order to grow and in order to stay the head of our industry or the largest player, which we are, we have to beat everybody on our IT service platform. And I think we do that, and we've done it well.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks for that. A quick question coming from Alvin. He's just saying he just recently purchased 365, but his calendar does not sync to his phone. Is there a quick insight into that?
I think. Good morning, everybody. I think just to answer that, I think where the confusion is, and I think Colin can attest to it, is that a lot of people buy Microsoft 365, but a family edition that may not be, business oriented. So that could be one of the problems there, where it's not physically syncing because it's actually a family account versus actually a business account. And we can take that to the Q&A because often we see that happening as well.
Sure.
But it could be that.
Alvin, we'll come back to you. Pop us at info@nsbc.africa, pop an email to us and I'll forward it to the team if you can do that. But thank you for that question. All right, Jacques Morkel, the Operations Director of Rodel Financial Services. I've got a question for you, Jacques. Seeing that you're in the financial services sector, I assume cybersecurity is top of mind for you. Why has Microsoft 365 the choice for you, and why should it be the choice for other small businesses?
Mark, thank you very much. Yes, cybersecurity is top of mind for us. I think any business with an online presence should make sure that they got their cybersecurity in place. Your repercussions from a cyber attack can be severe. You can look at fines for, data breaches. You can suffer reputational damage. Malware like ransomware can destroy your business. So if you do not take cybersecurity seriously in any business, I think you acting recklessly. We chose 365 because of our strategy that we developed many years ago to be able to work from anywhere and on any device. We did a disaster recovery and continuity plan, and we identified as one of the risks that we may not be able to get to our office. Office may burn down, or there may be roadblocks or political upheaval or anything that prevents us from coming to the office. So we needed to put something in place to not bind us to the office. 365 provided for that. We have been able to move completely off premises into the cloud, and we do all our user and device management through Microsoft 365, and even security with the Defender product, taking care of our email and endpoint security very well. For small businesses, why they should move to 365? Well, I think if you want to save yourself some time and tears and money, just learn from experience. We've had many years looking at many different products, and I can promise you will not be sorry if you go speak to your IT provider about 365. premium, it is really worth it, and it is not that expensive.
Yeah, no, Jacques, I'm testament to that. When Microsoft launched 365 in South Africa, the NSBC was their kind of guinea pig at that point. And, if I look back now, the solution is probably one of the biggest causes of our ongoing successes in South Africa. And, operating from anywhere, anytime, it's secure, it's efficient, it's cost effective, and it works extremely well. And it just allows you to get ahead a lot quicker than you would. And, especially, look, we're tired of talking about the pandemic, but even so, in times of disruption like that, whether it's a pandemic or other, it just allows you to stand up and stand at the top and get things done because of the mobility and, of course, the security aspect attached to it. So, Jacques, thank you for that insight. Iain, tell us a bit about NetConfig, network configurations, I would say, and your relationship with Rodel.
Sure. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. So we started as an IT services company back in 1999, typically as a small business. I was going to just grow the business to 5 staff members. Subsequently, that's changed. We're about 80-odd staff members now. So we certainly understand the journey of small businesses and the pain of how they grow, and obviously the adoption of technology. We're a managed service provider, so we complete outsourcing for small, medium-sized businesses. That's our core target market. And Rodel came to us when they were having challenges. And, the typical challenge back in the day was, obviously on-premise servers, access, complexity and access, having the traditional firewalls, et cetera, and through that and understanding their compliance requirements, we said, the perfect fit and the perfect solution for them is to look at the Microsoft 365 platform. And that's what we took them on that journey. And subsequently, COVID happened, and that just really accelerated the adoption. And I think it's been a great success for them. But we certainly understand, from building solutions, how to help small businesses. Because, I think the biggest challenge is a lot of confusion around it. When we talk about Microsoft 365, it's a big tool set and very powerful. And our core focus is actually the enablement and adoption, because often organizations just go buy 365, but they lack the training. So we actually have a Microsoft certified trainer, and we train organizations and small businesses how to use the tools properly. Otherwise, they just tend to use it like they did 10 years ago, not sharing documents correctly and, don't understand security and all that. So we help them with that journey, and that's really the power of what we do.
Iain, thanks for that insight. Just before the next question, I come back to you, and Taboko was asking, please explain the differences in the Microsoft 365 products in layman terms. Please also expand to team size. For example, which product do I use for a team of 10 versus 40?
Okay. So there's three main suites within the Microsoft 365 platform. There's what we call Business Basic, which is really just web apps. It really compares to the kind of the Google Docs kind of space, but with all the Microsoft technology, the corporate email, the all web interfaces, etc. And then you've got the Business Standard, which really includes everything in Basic, but the desktop Office suite. Okay, as well. So the Word, the Excel, etc. And our primary focus, what we focus on, is the Business Premium, which includes everything that's in the Standard Edition and Basic, but all the security that's really needed nowadays. Because, if you're not taking security seriously, that is a big problem. I mean, we take security seriously at home. Why aren't we taking security seriously in our business and our data? Because that can cost a company reputation, as Andrew mentioned and Jacques mentioned, reputation, money loss, etc. So we really need to focus on that Business Premium stack to give you that end-to-end security.
Yeah, and I was just on that side as well. Thank you for that. I was engaging not long ago with the head of TransUnion, and look what happened there. And they are sophisticated. Their technology is sophisticated security. So we've got to, at our stage as an SME, really put the top of mind to really ensure that these things don't happen because also around the world now, the SMEs are also being attacked. It's not just for big business. It's also for the SME environment. And of course, we do know that the big players can go the distance, and we do know they're also not paying ransom. But the point is that, we don't want to be put into that situation when we don't need to be. And I think that's great. Yeah, thank you for that.
I think Colin wants to ask me. Colin?
Mike, maybe just to answer the second part of that question, Taboko, you scale up the licenses as you need it. So because it's a subscription, I'm not buying 100, 250, you scale up as you need it. And then Mike, just to answer, or just to maybe add a little bit of color to that, we actually see that 2/3 of cyber attacks globally now are aimed at small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the scary bit is if you look at the stats at what it costs you to recover from a ransomware attack, unfortunately, there's a lot of small businesses that most probably won't survive that, Mike. It's a very, very costly thing to go through. And I think reputation is most probably one of the bigger damages, even more so than the financial side sometimes.
Yeah,
and Colin, 100% right. And we've been on a massive drive together with Microsoft over the past years on this issue. And you know, it's a lot easier to become secure than people think it is. You know, and I think it's worth that effort. And if anybody out there needs to get more insight into security, cybersecurity, please pop us an email at info@nsbc.africa, and our team will put forward, can assist you with a Microsoft distributor or Microsoft itself. We can link you up there. But yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, and Iain, again back to you. With your experience with small businesses and technology, what is the mistakes you see businesses make when it comes to embracing technology?
Sure, so many. I think, the biggest challenges, especially small businesses, is that, cost is always a factor. And we understand that and appreciate it because it's a startup, etc. But if you don't get your foundation right, and as Colin mentioned, if you don't get the building blocks correct right in the beginning, it's very difficult and very expensive to change it later on. So when we talk to business owners, we advise them, buy business-grade PCs, buy business-grade machines, purely because the Windows 11 Pro operating system is pivotal in terms of security management, from the business premium stack. So often what we find is people are buying the wrong technology because they think Microsoft is Microsoft, but it's very different from, a personal use environment versus, and that's where it typically starts, versus a business environment. So invest correctly, do it once, and you don't have to change. The cost of change is very expensive, and the complexity. And always look for a product, and that's why we're big Microsoft Gold partners, is because we focus on that stack, that Microsoft stack, because it's got everything you need. If you actually disassemble that entire package, what you would pay for all those individual services is a lot more. So it seems a lot from one product, but it's actually not.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that insight. Andrew, back to you, if you don't mind me. What does the future look like for Rodel now that you have the correct technology in place? And what would your advice for other businesses be?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Just to come back to what Iain said there, we realized that the diversity of IT or digital skills that we needed are more than we can employ within our group. So whilst we do have our own IT team and software developers, we absolutely cannot provide the skills that NETCONFIG do. So I think for our journey and for us to grow and for us to be able to service our clients quicker and more efficiently, and we do dozens of deals a day, and to be secure at all times, our future, and we've loved the Microsoft 365, it has worked for us, work for a diverse business like us, which is in a hurry all the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you need a business and IT service provider, which NETCONFIG is to us, which is versatile and has all the talent skill that we can't provide, and they're kind of very much aligned to our business. They understand what we do.
Okay, great, Andrew. Yeah, thank you for that. And Jacques, back to you, Jacques. Has Microsoft 365 brought you closer to your customers, and how?
Yeah, Mike, I think so. I think the fact that we were able to work from home during the COVID lockdown period speak volumes. We were able to service our clients, and many of them were in desperate need for money. And we continued as business as usual. We had no impact really. We weren't down to an office space, and we could keep in contact with our clients. We could access information on SharePoint very quickly. We could make decisions quickly. Everything that just added to maintaining our high service levels. And I think that counts a lot for clients. When you are there when they need you.
Absolutely, Jacques. Thank you for that. Iain, I'm coming back to you, Iain. How would a small business get started on this cloud journey?
I think it's, one of the things I often see small businesses doing wrong is that, you drive around and the guys are advertising a business and they have a website. So they've got, a registered domain name and they've got a little website and their email address points to a gmail.com, which is failure 101. I think we see it all the time. So really is get your domain registered, get your email hosted with a proper business solution like with Microsoft 365. Even if you start with one license, and you even start with a business basic or a business standard edition because you need the Microsoft Office suite, start there. Microsoft, like Colin said, you can start with one user and scale it as you grow. But most importantly, get your brand identity and your business class communication working on your mobile device, working on your computer, because you need the mobility and you need the security. And as you go through that maturity cycle, you change your plan from the basic all the way through to premium, because that's really where you need to be if you want to take security seriously. From an email retention, from an email security, but just start with the Microsoft journey and get your domain and get your brand identity linked to your enterprise or your business class mail solution.
Yeah, I'm so glad you touched on that. We've been on a big drive. You've got to professionalize your online presence. Goodness me,
100%.
You cannot run your business on a Gmail account. If you don't take your business seriously, no one else is going to take yours seriously. But now there's the big opportunity that a very small business can compete in the corporate space. Because if you've got your online presence professionalized, you've got a great website, you've got a great Facebook page or an Instagram or a Twitter, and this is all cost-effective stuff. You can have this for tiny cost, but you cannot, I've seen businesses out there like you have, Iain, 40, 50 people in a business on a Gmail account. It's crazy. You cannot do that. So guys out there, and I'm glad you're in touch on it, a big please. Now's the time to professionalize your online presence. Get serious about your business. You can compete with anyone out there. Get your dedicated domain. Get your website tweet. Look at your presence. Would you do business with your business if you're out there? You've got to answer that question. So, and like you say, Iain, it's quick to do. It's easy to do. It's inexpensive to do, but the difference is massive out there, and people will take you more seriously. You try and send a proposal on a Gmail account to any business. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to come back. And it's such a small step to take to be able to do that. And so thank you very much for that, Iain.
Mike, can I add one more point? And it's an interesting point for small businesses, though. We get contacted at Microsoft on a daily basis around data residency for small businesses. A lot of small businesses are looking to do work with public sector, tenders, et cetera, et cetera. And we're getting asked about data residency specifically for small businesses because it's a requirement within the tenders. The one big thing that we have done from an investment point of view of the years as Microsoft in South Africa as well, is that we have now 2 data centers in the country or data center regions. So when a small business signs up to M365 as an example, their data is here in the country. It's hosted, stored, processed in country, which also helps obviously with speed and latency. So it is a big point, and it's becoming a bigger point for small businesses. And then the one thing I do want to, I've just been looking at some of the questions, and apologies if I've taken your job there, Mike. But the question I just want to answer, there was quite a few questions around learning opportunities and how do I self-learn. I would encourage everybody to just open up a search page, Google, Bing, whatever you want to use, and go and look for Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn is an incredible platform for you to go and do self-learning. Whether you are just looking to understand how Power BI works, how you can do certain macros in Excel, or if you want to go on a path to get yourself certified, it's an incredible resource for people to go and learn.
Yeah, Colin, thanks for that. And to add more to that is that, also at the NSBC, we've got the Builder Business Academy, which is one of the largest online digital academies for business owners and entrepreneurs. There's amazing downloadable guides, how to do this, how to improve your credit score, how to register a trademark, how to access funding quickly, how to get the right technology, how to create an amazing online presence. So and coming back to that, what you touched on earlier, Iain, is that almost 97% of business or decision makers that receive a Gmail account will delete it before opening it, and you don't want that to happen to your business. It doesn't need to happen that way. So please, guys, it's a big thing. Right. Colin, again, unfortunately, Colin, this is the last question for you and the panel, but we can have a closing statement after that. Microsoft is making large investments on the continent. I certainly know that. How do you foresee this changing the business landscape?
Mike, thank you. Look, and I think we've touched on some of that already. I mean, there are a couple of investments that we're making, and the first one was in the data centers in the country itself, and that was for exactly those reasons. A lot of our public sector accounts asked for data sovereignty in the country. A lot of our small businesses were asking for data sovereignty in the country, so there was a large investment. It's an ongoing investment. In fact, we just made some announcements around what we've done now in Cape Town. That's now become a full data center region, which is quite incredible for us. And not only that, there's a lot of investments that are going into our BE program. So our EERP program, we're investing very heavily in a lot of small businesses. And our intent is to actually help those small businesses craft their solutions, take them globally onto the global stage so that they can compete on the global stage. We've got some incredible innovation and skill in this country. How do we actually make that bigger? We have an African office, so we're looking at Africa generally. How do we invest in Africa, and how do we actually take the African businesses, those small startups, the small businesses, and actually take them globally? Look, these are some of the investments that's going on. There's a lot more that's happening, and I encourage the people to reach out and have those discussions.
Absolutely, Colin. We know, Africa is the final frontier, and it's a big frontier. And well done to Microsoft and for what you guys are doing in South Africa and making it a better place for SMEs to thrive. And guys, I'm just going to ask everyone. I'll start with Andrew. Just maybe a closing comment from your side, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And it's been entertaining listening to you guys. I've not been an IT professional, but certainly just from my side, we can't grow without the services that are provided by NetConfig and Microsoft. So I think we've got a long future together.
Great. Thank you, Andrew. Jacques, over to you.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I think for everybody out there who's considering whether to spend money on IT, don't stop worrying about it. Just do it. It's not that much. Microsoft and your service provider would be on a per user base normally. So whether you are 10 or 1, doesn't matter. Just spend the money, make use of the technology and the expertise that is available out there. You should do it.
Yeah, wise comment, Jacques. Thank you. Iain, over to you.
Yeah, just in closing, I think really just make the right investment, do the research, choose the platform that's going to take you on the long journey and the long haul. That gives you that complete peace of mind from endpoint device through to the cloud. You need security. That's the world we live in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Iain. And Colin, last point from your side.
Mike, I think just a thank you to the small businesses out there. Like you said, this is the engine of the economy. The guys have hung tough during the last 2 to 3 years, and the support has been incredible from the small businesses as well. So keep it coming, keep the feedback coming. There's been some very good feedback over here, and we're open for the discussions. And thank you, Mike, for your guys and what you guys do as well at NSBC.
Right. Thank you very much, Colin. And to Andrew, Jacques, Iain, Colin, thank you for your insights. Thank you for taking your time. For me, it's been entertaining and, of course, insightful as always. I'm not, like Andrew says, I'm also not a tech guy, but without the tech solutions that you guys have created, we would never have survived, and we've prospered instead. And so for me, just show me how it works and I'll use it. But to guys, thank you for those insights. To Microsoft for, of course, hosting this or sponsoring this session. Thank you very much. And to Microsoft for what you do for small business in South Africa and around the world. It's a wonderful story, how it started in a garage. So, and we do also know finally that, what's amazing, I've been on a few global platforms over the past 2 years. And what is important to know is that the biggest brands of the future have been born during the pandemic. And to all our attendees out there, this is where it sits at. You guys, you are the employers of the future. You are the driving of our economy. So thank you for attending. Truly grateful. And of course, thank you guys. And I hope to engage with you guys all again soon. All the very best to you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.